What do CEOs need to know about sales these days? A lot. Outdated sales strategies and tactics plague most companies today. Listen to what innovative CEOs and experts have to say about how to change all that with Sales Talk for CEOs. Welcome to Sales Talk for CEOs. I am excited about the guest that we have today. I'm a big admirer of hers, and I love what she created. Just imagine if any business idea you had could be automated in minutes. And with Creatio, you can do this in sales, in marketing, and in other areas. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But the CEO of this company founded it in about 2014. She has won many accolades, but most recently, she was named one of the top software CEOs. And that's a big deal if you know women in tech just don't get enough shout outs. So this is really important. She started her career at IBM, but her first business was actually inspired when she got pregnant. And she decided, I'm going to build my own business. And just 2 months after she gave birth, her first business was born. Well, I am delighted to have you on the show today, Katherine. Thank you so much for being on Sales Talk for CEOs.
Thank you for having me, Alice.
So tell us just a little bit about what Creatio does today.
Absolutely. So we founded Creatio 10 years ago, and we founded the company with the idea that it shouldn't be taken years or quarters or months to automate your workflows in the company, especially front office processes, front office workflows. And Creatio is a no-code platform, AI native, with ready-to-use, best-in-class CRM products for marketing automation, sales automation, service automation, and industry workflows on top. So industry workflows for banks, credit unions, insurance companies for the front office operations.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I just loved it when I was researching and I looked at what your software could do. I was like, what? Like everybody needs this, right? Because like you said, it can just to build a dashboard sometimes can take forever trying to feed all the information in, and you've got these workflows created in minutes. I love it. Well, let's talk about the time when you got the idea to start Creatio. Let's rewind 10 years. What were you doing? What were you thinking? How did you get this idea to start this company?
Totally. And I've been in the enterprise software world, as you correctly said, since back in 90s when I joined IBM as an intern. That was actually my first job, intern, and then full-time job. And then I've been in the software space since then. And I've always been in this large enterprise implementation projects when it's heavy lifting actually to automate the workflows of the company. And basically, after many years in the industry, I came up with the approach of, listen, this should be done within days, within weeks. You wake up in the morning with the idea, and you need to have tools to automate this idea. And this is exactly what Creatio's promise is. And this is exactly what we do in the company. So when we founded in 2014, we bootstrapped the company, and it took us 6 years actually to fully bootstrap the company, to clearly understand our product market fit, to define our go-to-market strategy, and start pushing on gas. So when we started pushing on gas, that was more than 4 years ago, we got our first amazing partners, investors, Volition Capital and Horizon Capital, and we raised our first capital. It was $68 million. That was a minority investment 4 years ago. And in 2024, we raised again. That was our second investment, $200 million at $1.2 billion valuation.
Yeah. So in 2024, you became a unicorn. Amazing. And still privately held. I mean, what a great story. So, all right, back 10 years ago when you got this idea, I mean, you're not a software developer, Katherine. You just told us you were in sales. So how did that work? You got an idea. Did you draw it or did you explain it to some friends? How did it work?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I'm one of those people who got computer science degree, again, back in 90s when I were in college. And when I was in college, and after I graduated, and I started as an engineer at IBM. So my first role was an engineer. I quickly figured out, so that was all of that was happening at IBM. I quickly figured out that go to market, this is where my passion is. So I transitioned from engineering to marketing. And again, like at that time, I was just an intern, like that was my first job. So I had quite a lot of flexibility. So I was very, very fortunate to transition into marketing and then sales and find my passion there. So basically, I've been, as you said, in marketing and sales my whole professional career. And when we founded the company, of course, I was the one on the front line selling. But again, I had an amazing team of we call it a founding team, right? So team of peers, and many of them are with me today, and we're driving this business forward together. And we all were in the field. You know, when you're a bootstrapped startup, everyone is selling, like everyone, an engineer, obviously marketeers, customer service folks, everyone is in sales. So we all started selling and finding our product market fit step by step, and growing the business.
How much of the actual platform did you have developed before you started selling, and kind of what was the evolution of that? Because I know a lot of founders, like they have a product ready to go. And like you said, you found your product market fit, you start socializing that with people and talking to them about it. But then of course they have an idea, and then what if you could add this? And what if you could add that? And so how much of it was like ready to go? And then how much did you change once you started getting in the market and learning from people?
Yes. And again, I was very, very fortunate to have an amazing network of folks who actually supported us and started using the product. And you probably are getting a ton of requests. Hey, Alice, would you like to try this and that?
Yes.
And that's exactly what we did. And together with our clients, we've been growing and developing our products and improving our products. And that's how the company has been developing. And again, amazing experience. Moreover, one thing we did from the beginning, we started engaging integrators, implementation companies, implementation professionals outside of Creatio, who actually were taking the product to the market. And that's why right now, being 10 years old, so basically a young company, pretty young company, we have clients in more than 100 countries of the world, and we have 700 partners in those 100 countries who actually implement Creatio, who do the implementation work. So we've always been kind of a partner-driven organization working in partnership with system integrators globally who took Creatio technology and implemented it in multiple different organizations. Even today, I can tell you, Alice, 50% of Creatio's revenue comes from partners, from channel partners.
Yeah, I mean, wow, that's excellent, right? I mean, what a way to go. Partners can be amazing, right? If you set up your partner ecosystem properly. And it sounds like you started from the beginning. All right, so you mentioned that in the beginning, everyone was out there selling. Didn't matter what their actual job was. You were all making connections and out there selling. And it went pretty well, right? And you learned a lot, and together, like you said, you molded the product and got ideas. And where was the point where you said, oh my gosh, running this company is become a lot, and trying to also sell, and everybody's got to do their jobs. Maybe we need to look into actually hiring some salespeople besides ourselves.
From day one, like after we acquired the first clients, we immediately started hiring sales, of course. Otherwise, how will you make the flywheel work, right? So as soon as you start having clients and serving amazing organizations, you start reinvesting these funds. And we've been always reinvesting basically everything we've been earning into the business, into this flywheel. So we started building the sales organization from the beginning, almost from the beginning.
And were you leading the sales organization since you were the one of the
In the
founding team that
beginning,
had the sales
yes. Yes,
experience?
in the beginning, yes, in the beginning, but for a short period of time, because again, if you don't build structures, if you don't scale the team, how can you scale the business, right? So you can't do everything by yourself. And honestly, I've been in this individual contributor seat for a very limited period of time, because again, I always had this intention of growing people and building structures and building teams and growing together with the team. Um, and yes, we VP of sales, the first VP of sales or director of sales, I got him maybe months, 2 months from the beginning.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then
Thank you.
and then growing and scaling. But at the same time, the CEO doesn't matter if it's a $1 billion company or a $1 million company or $10 billion company. The CEO should be in the field. So I spend so much time with our clients and with prospects and literally all over the world.
Yeah, 100%. You and I completely agree on that. I always say to CEOs, listen, the CEO will always have a role in sales. That role may change as the company matures, but there will always be a role for the CEO in sales. And you and I both know that the companies who really thrive, the CEOs are involved with those really big prospects, bringing in that CEO confidence so the salespeople can, close those deals, and sticking with the current customers and listening to them and learning and understanding from them. It's just such an important role to play. Now, I know you had a great sales background from and marketing and sales both, right, from IBM. And you told me on the pre-show when we were chatting that you actually had some training with Miller Hyman, which I just
Yes, yes.
thank you for.
Back in 90s. Yes, back in 90s. So thank you very much for that. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. It's a small
Oh my
world.
gosh. It's so great to meet Miller Hyman fans. And of course that methodology sticks with you. And as you are doing these huge enterprise deals, right? And you're using that methodology, just becomes part of what you do. And so I'm curious, as you were transferring the responsibility of sales to these new salespeople and eventually not long after to a sales leader, how did you do that transfer of knowledge? You mentioned to me that you're big on playbooks. So I want to hear about how you captured the knowledge of how to do the sale and made it easy for the people you were hiring to do that.
Yeah, I don't believe it's easy, because enterprise sales, I don't believe it's ever easy, honestly. So, but we absolutely invested a lot of time and effort and passion into putting playbooks together. And again, to your question, I feel it seems to me we had our first sales playbook since the first year of the company, of the existence of the company. And of course, it has been rewritten so many times over the course of 10 years, but we always had the sales playbook. It's very far from ideal today. So if you ask me, okay, Catherine, like, do you have the blueprint, the best practice sales playbook in the world? I'll tell you, absolutely not. We have so many things to improve there. However, it's a very clear structure, which starts with the onboarding stage one. And I'm very happy to talk about onboarding. And then understanding of messaging, understanding of ICP, understanding of territories, then the product and pricing and deal management, deal desk, and then sales execution. And then in sales execution, inside sales execution, we have all the sales stages and obviously sales methodology, and then qualification methodology. We're using MatPeak, and then mutual execution plans, and obviously deal management and deal desk and engagement of our partners. So that's all about sales execution. And then the next part is sales excellence. So sales excellence, it talks about quality standards. It talks about metrics. It talks about the success profiles, how many meetings, how many opportunities you need to have to be successful in the organization. And then we transition into partners, because as I told you, partners play a critical role in the organization and in Creatio's journey. So collaboration with partners, we want partners to be engaged in each and every opportunity from the most beginning, from day one. When we start talking to a prospect, we want our partner to be engaged as well. So Collaboration with partners, partner program, partner playbook, partner engagement, that's another big piece. And then the next one would be solution consulting. And again, we're talking about solution engineering. We're talking about value creation and value consulting, about industry consulting. So this is all under the umbrella of solution consulting. And finally, operations. So all the processes and workflows inside Creatio that will support the enterprise sales process.
So this is a lot of work to write it down initially, right? But then also to keep it updated because, right, there's always changes. Tell us about what methodology you use. This is all documented somewhere. Is it written in Word docs? Is it video? Like, how do you organize?
It's a knowledge hub. It's a knowledge hub on Creatio Academy. So we have a knowledge hub in Creatio Academy. And to your point, we have a wonderful, amazing sales excellence team that is actually responsible for supporting and updating and modernizing all the time the sales playbook that we have there. Yes. And it has been rewritten so many times, Alice. I will tell you, I'm not even going back 10 years ago. Even if you take the playbook written 3 years ago and the playbook today, it's like two different companies because the company is growing, the company is evolving. So obviously the sales playbook is very, very different today than we even had 3 years ago.
Yeah. It needs to be because so much has changed. It's like you and I have been selling a long time, right? And things that worked when we were young just don't work anymore. And we have to help our salespeople know and understand what's working today. How do we meet the customer where they are? And so that's amazing. And I love that you have a team that's looking over this because it really is a lot of work to keep this information updated and make it easily accessible to the people who need it, right? Now,
and not only, if you don't mind, Alice, not only keep the information updated, but also make enabling the sales organization globally and making sure that we're actually following the playbook and that the playbook is automated because, again, we drink our own champagne. A lot of things at Creatio, the majority of processes at Creatio are automated using Creatio. So making sure that everything is automated, that all the team members are trained, they clearly understand what needs to be done at which point of time. But again, a caveat, we're not 100% perfect. We're very far from being perfect, but at least we try. And really hard to be close to perfect.
Well, it sounds like you're really, pretty close. And it's so important, I think, for everybody listening. I know a lot of CEOs don't have their teams documenting. And it's something I'm so big, like document everything and then figure out the best way to keep that information, be able to update it and disseminate it. These playbooks are so important, right? Otherwise, it slows everything down when we're trying to train people. It slows everything down when we're trying to learn something new. So I think you're way ahead of the game in a lot of ways, believe it or not, having all of this information captured. And then, of course, using your own platform to make it easy, right, to access it is awesome. Now, you mentioned that you have all of these partners that you're working with. How does sales split their time, or how do you split sales? Are there some people who work just with the partners and some people who sell direct? Tell us a little bit about how sales is organized at your company.
Yeah, and it's pretty straightforward because Creatio, unlike other vendors, we do not do any professional services. So we do not provide implementation services. It's all done by our partners.
Yeah.
So basically, when our sales force is in the field closing deals, bringing new clients on board, we always engage partners. So basically, the partner conflict that you are probably referring to, it doesn't exist at Creatio. It's only through partnership because we all benefit from this collaboration. Partners bring clients to Creatio because they need our product. And our sales folks, they bring partners into the deals because they need support in implementation and ongoing support of the implementation. So it's basically two-way street. We have an amazing team of partner account managers, channels team who are actually building these relations and who are engaging new partners and who are training the partners and developing these relationships with partners and enabling partners. So this is our channels team, but they are not responsible for sales. They do not have their own quota because they're not bringing deals to Creatio. This is all done by the sales organization that works in a very, very tight collaboration with the channels team.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like that works really well. Oh my goodness. Well, for lead generation, I'm curious. So it sounds like your partners bring some leads to you and say, hey, they need you, right? What else are you doing for lead generation today that's working?
Yeah, you can think of it in kind of three different buckets. Like we think of it in three different buckets. One is partners. You're absolutely right. The other one is marketing. We call it growth. And here we have kind of sub buckets, which would be raised hands because of brand awareness and references and recommendations, obviously inbound flow, and all our marketing, digital, all our marketing efforts, event like field marketing, ABM campaigns, everything we do to grow the business, to grow top of the funnel. And then the third one is outreaches and territory management. So sales reps have their portfolios, and then together with BDRs, they are penetrating these portfolios. And also every organization in the portfolio has an assigned partner. And then we have marketing campaigns supporting those portfolios and kind of supporting the sales reps' efforts. So basically, when a sales rep has his or her portfolio of target accounts or territory, right? People usually call it territory. They get all the support, not only from BDRs, but BDRs, partners, and marketing.
Yeah. I think every CEO out there wishes they had a machine like that, right? I mean, that you may not think it's exceptional, but what you've done is really created a beautiful environment where your sellers can work together so well with your partners to serve your customers so that they're delighted, right? You've got this beautiful flow going, and it just makes everything a bit easier because, like you said, enterprise selling is never easy. There's a lot to it. It's long sales cycle. It
always takes
it
always takes a village. Yes, it always takes a village. And thank you very much for your feedback, Alice. But I can tell you that we're very, very far from being perfect. And it's such a massive room for improvements in each and every process. Yes, there is a wonderful framework and a wonderful flywheel that works. But then when you go level down, there are processes and workflows and collaboration. And again, it's always a ton of work for improvement. But yes, I'm with you. Enterprise sales takes a village, no doubt here.
Yeah. And I think, there's still some CEOs out there that may be listening who are still sending out one seller to try to approach these huge corporations. And it really, really is a team sport, right? We really need, especially when we're smaller and we are companies maybe, in that 100 million to 500 million, but we're selling to companies who are, close to $1 billion. They're big and they look at us as small, and we're trying to, send a team to give them confidence and tell them that we can serve them well, right? And it sounds like that is what you're doing. You've got a whole team put together that can serve the customers really well.
Yes, but again, it's not how it was in the beginning, because right now it's easy for us to talk about the village and the team sports because it's a $1 billion valuation company, so it's a big company right now. But 10 years ago, we didn't have this team, right? And that's why everyone was engaged, and that's why I told you all these war stories when we had marketing people, customer support people, customer success people, everyone engaged in selling and helping each other, because again, we're building our way through all of that.
Yeah, and evolving right into what it became today, which takes time, it takes focus, it takes energy, and like you said, it's not perfect, but boy, it's working, and you're working on it all the time. I really appreciate that. Well, gosh, amazing. So what's next for Creatio? What kinds of things are you looking forward to in the future?
That's a great question. Thank you, Alice. And here at Creatio, we have this feeling, although the company is 10 years old, we still have this feeling that we just started, like really, like literally, especially with this new era of enterprise software that we are part of. We're writing, we're on the front line of the new development in AI, and Creatio being an AI native platform. For us, it's very natural to develop and deliver new capabilities to our clients. So what I think about the market, Alice, is that we're actually in the beginning of the third era of enterprise software. Like the first one was monolithic software back in 90s, then the cloud era came, and right now we are in the beginning of the AI no code composable software, and that's exactly what Creatio does. When implementation and integration of the software is going to be taken literally weeks, days, rather than months, for example.
Yeah, months or years sometimes, right? So
Yes, definitely not these days, and definitely not with Creatio. It's not going to be years.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. Well, gosh, we're just running out of time. It's been so much fun to talk to you and learn about your story and how you do sales at your company. I have a couple of questions I want to ask you before we complete today. And the first one is, all right, here we go. What's a book that every CEO should read?
I will tell you my Bible in the software world. Okay, so for the software CEOs, it hopefully will help. It's Amped Up by Frank Slutman. I absolutely love this book. It talks about stepping up the pace, increasing the level of intensity, raising bar all the time, not swimming in glue. This kind of performance driven culture. I absolutely love the book.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to read that. I put it on my list because I had not read that yet. And so thank you for mentioning that. And I know we didn't have time to talk about it today, but maybe another time, that you have really provided a great culture at your company. And I know that's really important to you. So that sounds like a great read. And I will definitely put that on my list. All right. The next question is, what is a podcast that you listen to because it makes you think differently? Maybe it's not even a business podcast.
It will be business podcast because everything I'm reading and listening, it's about business, Alice. So I probably will give you Blitzscaling by Reid Hoffman. So Blitzscaling about how you can grow the company and scale the company really, really fast. So it's really inspiring.
Yeah, yeah, they have really good stories on there. All right, and then the last question is, what does every CEO need to know to win in this market today?
Um, I can share with you what I'm trying to do every day, and that's the area of growth, area of improvement. It's prioritizing every single day, and knowing that if I spend an hour of my time doing something, it means that I will take this hour from something else. So defining the priority and defining where the CEO's time and energy will bring most benefit to the company and what will make the biggest impact. That's probably the hardest thing to do, because again, so many people want to talk to you and you can help in so many different ways. So always prioritizing and understanding what is really mission critical that will bring your company to the next level up the company.
Oh my goodness, that is so powerful. And it's so true because so many things take our attention as CEOs, and we really do need to spend our time doing those things that move us forward fastest, right? So thank you for that.
Very true.
Just before we go, I'd love to have you let people know where they can find Creatio and where they can find you if they'd like to communicate with you further.
Thank you very much. I'm Boston based, and the website is creatio.com. So pretty straightforward. And we're very happy to host guests here in our office. It's the 37th floor, 53 State Street, downtown Boston. So welcome, everyone.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And thank you for taking time to be on the show with me today.
Thank you, Alice, very much. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
If you enjoyed the show, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.